Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chakra Healing Coaching. I am JR, Chakra Healing Coach, and I have Julia.
Hello, I'm Julia. Hey JR, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Julia is also a chakra coach, too. And we are coming on today because we want to talk about something that we are very passionate about. And it seems like it's just been a reoccurring theme lately, at least in my life, and for those around us too. And that is manifestation. I know we did a video not too long about it, but there's so much to manifestation and how it works. So we're going to be going over, you know, one, like I just said, what is manifestation? How does it work? How you can implement it in your life, and then the biggest thing is what stops or blocks manifestation to occur in your life. Okay, and there may not be exactly order to that. That's just what we're going to be covering. We may go into the blocks first, but we'll see. So, manifestation. I just want to hear from you, Julia, first. How have you been manifesting things in your life right now?
How have I?
Yes, like what's occurring? What's happening?
Well, so like what's been occurring, I think one big major thing I've manifested and I've kind of struggled with myself, but one of the major things I actually manifested was getting fired from my last job. And so I know that sounds kind of crazy and like it is, like a tower moment that like we don't want to admit, but we manifest good things and we also manifest bad things. And then when we don't listen to what we're supposed to be doing, the universe gives it to us. And it's not in the way that we can really like it and appreciate it. So for me, I didn't appreciate getting fired from my last job, but I'm transitioning and manifesting that experience into my new golden opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not putting sadness and resentment into the atmosphere towards that last job or myself because I have this new world and I want to
Yes.
put only good intentions into it. And I only want good things to come to me.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So,
For sure. I think that
yeah.
that's an interesting aspect. So, if you hear the dogs in the background, I'm so sorry. They like to do this every time we go live. They want to be rambunctious, and that's what they're doing right now.
Energy.
So, there's a lot that I want to expand on what you just said because, believe it or not, it's so powerful. Especially when you say, you can manifest good things, you can manifest bad things, and universe is going to give you something, whether that's good or bad, you know, depending on what you're trying to do. So before we can get there, let's just take a step back and like, what is manifestation? So I'm gonna just share what I feel like it is for me. And then I want you to kind of add into, what is manifestation for you? Because it's a little bit different for each person. But we had the main kind of theme. And when I say that, like the main theme I believe is that you are wanting to go from point A to point B. Okay. Whatever that is in your life. You want to get somewhere else than where you are right now. So to get there, you have to manifest and pull that reality into point A now. Okay. So, for example, it can be simple or it can be very complex. So, simple, like, hey, I want to be a doctor. So, I'm going to go through, college, get all the good grades, go to med school, do the med school stuff, do your residency, and you become a doctor. Okay. That is taking the steps and everything and focusing on that goal that you want to manifest in your life. Okay. That's just kind of a simple thing. But for many of us, it's a little bit more challenging, you know? And that can go in different revenues because of just what our environment is that we're in right now. Okay. So manifestation in simple terms is that you are wanting to pull something into your reality that resonates with you, that you know you are meant to, or that you want that into your life because you know that it's supposed to be there. It's like this deep knowing, and no matter what anyone says, it can't just be shaken, you know? And you want to pull that into this reality that you're in right now. That's, for me, a simple way of just saying it. We'll explain and explain a little bit more. But Julie, I want to hear what your take on what is manifestation for you.
Um, well, for me, like I have like two little ways to explain it, and I think I'll start with a different way to explain it and through like what I did as a kid. And I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. But when I was really little, when I could spell, I was the age of being able to spell. I had A through Z as a keyboard on my forehead. And every night I would put my head on the pillow and I would spell out what I want to dream about. And I dreamt every single night what I wanted to dream about.
That's cool.
That's exactly what manifestation is. Like, you put it out there in the universe, you take that
Mm-hmm.
time, stop your brain and really focus like, this is what I want. God, I want this.
Mm-hmm.
And you work for it and you see it. You see yourself in that position. You feel it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
And it's like, that's manifestation. And I think it gets intertwined with the word intentions and intention setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all kind of the same more than we think they are.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I do too. Because you have to set your intention for that manifestation.
Hmm.
Just like, and I love that example you just gave too. But if you didn't set the intention of going through the spelling and the keyboard and stuff at night, would you have manifested those dreams?
No.
So intention is a
And how
key
I know
factor.
that is I practice that as an adult.
Yes.
Hmm.
And these are keys for everyone to use too. Doesn't matter what age you are at all. I want to make that very clear. It doesn't matter if you're a kid, an adolescent, a young adult, older adult. You can manifest anytime that you are here on this plane, on this lifetime that we're in right now. Okay? Because you can. And manifestation is really setting that attention and going after it in a way. And there's different ways you can approach that too. For the example that I gave, it's like, being a doctor. You're setting that intention, you're focusing on that, you're bringing that reality into it. It takes some hard work, to do that. Okay. But it can be as simple as manifesting your dreams before you go to bed, and it's going to take different kind of energy depending on what manifestation you're trying to do. So
And that's a key
I,
thing too, is it does take energy to it takes energy to bring in the energy.
yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. For sure. There's this equal exchange of something. Okay. And I say something because energy is energy to pull into whatever that you're trying to manifest. Okay. Um, how much energy does that take? That's beyond me to put a capacity of what you're trying to manifest. Okay. Sometimes you
Mhm.
try to manifest something, it happens really quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It may take a couple months, it could take a year. I really think that's like the universe more like testing us to see how much of an intention that we're wanting to put into this manifestation. And then for some people, it just comes really quick. I think it really just depends on a few different aspects. And we're going to get into the blockages here in just a moment. But it depends on the blockages and how you allow those blockages to affect you and how long it takes to manifest something.
I just remembered something I manifested this weekend, and it's kind of simple, and I kind of kick myself for never thinking of it earlier. So I always said mosquitoes love me. Always. This trip, I said, I repel mosquitoes. And I screamed it to the universe. And for hours, 3 hours, no mosquito came.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like, you're right. The universe, it takes time. Sometimes it's instant, but I
Hmm.
also think it depends. Like, you have to, like, your conviction.
Yeah. Yeah. That and vibration. That's another aspect of things is
Mhm.
how high are you vibrating? You
Yep.
know, that's a big factor into manifestation and how quick that something can manifest. Depends on vibration too. So if you're at a low vibration and you're in that icky, gicky, negative environment, is it going to take longer for something to, become reality, to manifest that? You know? And again, it just depends on the person. I want to really make that clear too, just because people respond differently in each environment. Okay? So just because you're in a negative environment doesn't mean it's going to take forever. Some people can manifest something really quick, even in a negative environment, because their vibration is higher in that negative environment. So one of the key aspects of manifesting something is your vibration. So we kind of define manifestation in a way. Um, and that's truly just something that resonates with you that you're wanting to either bring into your reality, whether that is, and we'll give some examples. It could be physical stuff, like a new car. It could be maybe a job promotion. It could be a whole different life that that right now what you're doing it doesn't resonate with you, but yet you're stuck in the grind and you know that you want something different, that you're made for something different. You're passionate and everything, but you have limited mindsets, and that's keeping you right where you are. Um, what are some other examples that you can come up with, Julia?
You know, you don't hear the signs or see the signs or read the signs from the universe saying to stop, watch out, go this direction. Because in my experience, they're going to warn you 3 to 5 times. They're going to give you a good 6 months. Like this, and it's
Mm,
not like somebody's telling you what to do. Like for me, this last experience with this last manifestation was 6 months ago. I just had this feeling I need to look for another job. And then a month after that, something happened, and I said, I need to look for another job. The month after that, something happened. I said, I need to look for another, and I never listened
yeah.
until I was let go from my job.
Hmm.
So, like, luckily I was working on things in the background to where I knew what I was really wanting to do. So it was the universe, like I manifested at that end because I knew what I was doing wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So in a way, like it was a bad manifestation at a point, and then it was a good manifestation, but we learned from it all,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like with that, yeah, like it just takes time. The major point is like if you got to repeat the same thing 2 or 3 times, maybe you need to step back and say, all right, something big's gonna happen if I don't listen. And what is that big thing?
Hmm.
Because it's probably
Yeah.
something you want to change anyway.
Yep. Yeah. And stepping back and looking at it can be very helpful. Um, I say that because I was in a position, it was a very good position for what many people would say. The pay was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. Probably one of the highest paying in that kind of realm at that time that I was there. However, I was not enjoying it. You know, um, I kind of like you. I've been doing other things on the side. Was doing some energy healing training and mindfulness, some coaching aspect, working on certification for that, and all this stuff that I wanted to use. But where my current position is, I could use some of it, and I did, and it seemed like it helped. The morale of the staff and everything quite a bit. However, it still wasn't at the level I was wanting, you know? And for me, it was actually taking a trip to a conference that I went to, and I was listening to a yoga instructor. It was interesting because I didn't even know she was going to be speaking. She came and asked to sit at my table, and I was like, yeah, sure. We had empty chairs. I didn't care. So she sat down, just kind of talking, get to know each other. And then just a little bit later, they said that they had a guest speaker that was going to be talking, and it just so happened to be the guest that was right there at my table. So I was like, oh wow, I didn't know she was going to be talking. But she got up there and she talked and talked about like the benefits of like yoga and stuff like that. And she got to the point, and it almost brought me in tears when she was saying this. And she was really referring to burnout. And I think most of us experience that in some kind of dimension, some kind of way, burnout, meaning that you're stuck in the daily grind and you want to get out of it, but you are stuck and you don't see a way out, and you're just going through the emotions, and it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible place to be trapped and stuck in. But I didn't know how bad of a burnout that I was at until I listened to her speak. And she gave this analogy that she said that her yogi master was talking to her about, and it was about the vase. So I don't have a vase because I didn't plan on talking about this today, but we're going to use my water bottle, okay? So when everything's in harmony in your life, your vase is upright, okay? It's perfect, the flow, your chakras and everything are flowing where it needs to. You have divine guidance going in, you're rooted, you're going the way that you need to. However, if we know that we're not where we are wanting to, and we're getting these signs, but we're not paying attention, what happens is that vase starts to slowly tilt and tilt and tilt. So it will keep going, and whenever it's, about a fourth away, maybe even half, if we change different things, change our mindset, our environment, all that, we can restore that. We can pull it back to where it needs to. Okay? So then we're back on track with what we're trying to manifest. Okay? However, she said that whenever your vase, your life vase, is flipped completely upside down, that's when you hit burnout the worst. And that's where you need to make the most drastic change. Because if you stay there and you stay in that low vibration, it's eventually going to kill you. And to get out of this vibration, you have to do something big. You have to do something drastic to overturn that vase and get it back upright again. And that was, geez, about 4 years ago. And that lesson has stuck
I
to
was gonna
me
say 4 or 5.
yeah, yeah. That lesson has stuck with me so much. Because whenever I realized that, I was like, dang, I am in like burnout at like the worst, and I didn't even see it coming.
Well, we're really not trained in society to have the self-awareness of like how to feel,
Yeah.
and like
Hmm.
these feelings, this constant stress and anxiety and being drugged down is not normal for a body to undergo. And
Right.
like we're not taught about the normal energetic harmon just harmonization your body needs to be in to just be perfect, because we all are perfect, and we have the ability to be as perfect as we can be, and we're not taught any of it, and it's a shame.
Right. Yeah. We're not taught to identify those signs, and part of that, this isn't going into manifestation, but part of that is self care.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's not you. It's me. I'm getting kind of derailing for just a moment. We'll get right back there. Okay. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. But self care. We're not taught about self care. You know, and if we actually use the techniques of self care, we could use that and identify burnout a lot quicker and align ourselves back up to what we're trying to manifest. You know, 100% yes. We're not taught to identify it, and we're not taught the self care that we need to. Not at least here in the States. We could do better. We all could do better on some aspect, but we could do better, Um,
Hmm.
and for me, instead of it being forced, and I love to pull into that, like what you just said, that when you're trying to manifest something, even if it's intentional, if you have this like plan in the background that you're supposed to be doing, you're resonating with, it's going to manifest its way, and you can either identify the signs and change them, or it's going to happen to you and it's going to be a pretty bigger event per se. So like us, very similar. However, whenever she told that story and I realized that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to change right now. I'm like, the signs have been
Yeah,
around and I'm not paying attention. So I made those steps to
exactly.
drastically change it. If I were to keep going, it would have been probably a bigger event, very similar to what you explained in yours, with the loss of a job. It would have
Hmm.
definitely went down that route. Um, and that's the thing, is that when you're manifesting, it's going to happen one way or the other. If you can identify the signs before that, you can avoid a bigger thing, but it's going to happen. And I like to say that this also goes along with change. That change is going to happen whether you like it or not. Okay? You can resist the change or you can learn to adapt with the change. If you resist the change, you're going to manifest a big life catalysm event that's going to lead to a change. You can't avoid change.
And the way I
And
think
it's going
about
to be.
change for myself is it's hard to like get used to the change. And so that's anxiety provoking for me. But if you view change as a possibility, as like in tarot, like the Wheel of Fortune, like so it's time to change. It's a new chapter. So I mean, it could just be like a new webcam. We're gonna try this out, but like it's still anxiety provoking, But like it is. Forgot what my point was, but like, um, but you need to try it, because like there is a point to that, like, and it could save
Yeah,
time, or it could be better in certain aspects, or it could have benefits that you didn't know that you wanted or needed, even though it was a
sure.
little derailment there.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I
learning
think
from
that's
it.
where I was going.
Yeah. Well, with manifestation, I will throw in just the simple three key kind of steps with that. Um, and you can label it however you want, but one is identifying the manifestation that you're wanting to do. Okay? So, whatever it is, identify it, accept it. This is the reality. This is what you're wanting to manifest. This is what you want to put out there. This is it. Okay? Second step is believe that it's going to happen. And that can be the hardest part of manifestation that a lot of people face, is you have to believe it. Okay? And I believe that, another belief, what slows people down from manifesting things that they are wanting to is because they're not on that believing state. That's that high frequency that I was mentioning earlier. you know So you have to identify it. This is what I'm wanting to do. You have to believe it, that it's going to happen. And when I mean believe it, you truly got to believe it. And I love the statement that I've heard is that do whatever it takes to make your body believe it. Do whatever it takes. Okay? You have to really envision this new manifestation, this reality that you're wanting to do whatever it takes to manifest that. Okay. And a great example, and I know Julie's gonna know where I'm going with this is if you want a brand new car and you know exactly what it is, and be specific too. Okay. If you're not specific, it's gonna take a lot longer, and you're not gonna get what you want because you wasn't specific. Okay. But if you want a brand new car and visualize that, and if you need to, even if you can't afford it right now, who cares? Go out, find that perfect car, test drive that car, feel what it feels like being in that car, what it's like and it looks, and I mean, everything to have your body resonate at the frequency that you need to, as if that was already there. That is the believe state that I'm talking about. Not putting out there, oh yeah, I believe it'll happen someday. Okay, well, someday is no day. Okay? Until you get to that frequency high enough, that is not going to happen. So do what it takes to truly believe that. And then the last one that I like to throw in there is after you believe that's going to happen, leave it to the universe to make it happen. Okay? So you believe it, you feel it, you know what it's like and everything. Okay, it's going to happen. Leave it to the universe to actually make that manifest before your eyes. Those are my three simple tips. Is there anything that you would like to add to that, Julia?
I think there'd be like a good amount of people out there that before your first three tips, like people they're not as self-worthy as they should be. And so like the concept of a manifestation, they may feel guilty. Like
Mm,
I don't deserve this. I I have a car that's getting me from A to Z. I don't want to take away from someone else. Or that kind of thought, like, but no, like if you can envision something that makes you feel more joyful inside, no matter what that is, if that's having five chickens that are happy, like if you can feel that, your body will know that, and that frequency is sent out there, and it comes back, but you have to know that you're worth it, that you're worth having whatever you want, and you shouldn't feel guilty. We have worked our asses off our whole life. Like
mm-hmm.
let's,
Yeah.
really put it out there of like, what do I want? What do I want? What's going to make me
Mm-hmm.
and all the people around me happier?
And why not
And
you?
believe that and know that you're worth that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Why
that
not?
is a big chunk for people to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to when someone says, and kind of on that line of mindset or thought is why not you?
Yeah. Oh, why not you?
Why not you? Why don't you deserve it?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think someone else deserves it more than you?
Yeah.
And again, that frequency is going to drag you down, and it's going to take longer to manifest. So the quick ABCs: ask, receive, or ask, believe, receive is how some people like to put it. I say identify what it is, believe it, and receive because you know it's going to happen. Um, it's pretty amazing. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people out there. And yes, I'm talking to whoever it is that's watching this right now, that manifestation isn't real, okay? Or that it's bad. I don't understand how something could be bad when it's something that's benefiting you and resonating with you and getting you to the path that you're supposed to be on. Okay, whatever. I'm not here to debate that part. But what I am saying that is I have seen it in my life. I've seen it in my client's life. I've seen it in family and friends' life, how manifestation has changed their world completely upside down and gotten them where they're supposed to be. And it can be easy. And I tried it, just a simple uh, thought process out there just a couple weekends ago. And I was just not even fully intentional, like putting it out there in a way. It's just a thought process that just like popped in my head. I was like, I'm fixing to leave for a trip and I would like a little bit extra spending money. If I could have like 3 clients before I go, then that would be the perfect amount that I need. Okay. And I was leaving in 3 days. So I just put it out there, just like, oh, that's kind of funny. Left it like that. Well, that first day, nothing happened. That second day, during the day, nothing happened. That evening, all of a sudden, I started getting these people that was booking appointments to see me on the third day, right before I was leaving. I was short one, and I was like, dang it, okay, that's okay. So I went there, seeing my clients and everything, and in between, I got somebody that was like, hey, I would like to be seen. And then boom, there was my third client that I was needing just 3 days prior to leaving on my trip. And it happened that quick, and I watched it unfold right there in front of me. And I have been doing a lot of manifestation this year. A lot of things have. And like I said, it depends on the person and how long it takes. There's been certain things I've been wanting to do for years, and all of a sudden this year, it must be because I am high vibing. It's like boom, 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 boom. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. I'm like, okay, like this is the high vibrational year for me, um, and I think that anybody could get to that state. You know, I think that it will take some time for certain individuals. That's why we do chakra coaching. We can get you to that level that you need to. We can discuss it, see what you're wanting to resonate, but you have to trust the process that it's going to happen. As soon as you stop trusting that it's going to happen, you're having negative thoughts about it and everything, you will destroy that manifestation from happening. So, and
And it's essentially a prayer.
yeah, yes, a prayer, sending it out and believing that it's going to occur. And when you don't, you're going to have 2 things that happen. You're going to get stuck in that situation for the rest of your life, regretting everything, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. Or 2, you're going to have a major event that's going to occur that's going to force you to change. And I've seen this go different ways for that individual when that event happens. Either they become very resentful and bitter and everything because the change was forced upon them, and they vibrate even at a lower frequency, or they take that and they go up to a higher frequency. You're like, oh, I should have done this. My bad. Let's go up higher. So many, many different things. Many, many things with manifestation. I've seen it happen. And if you truly want to see it happen for you and you are not seeing it, please reach out. We will definitely do a free one-on-one call, see what we can do. Want to hear what you have, what you're wanting to manifest and everything, and help you along that path. Um, I do want to say, what blocks somebody from getting to that manifestation now? So I'm going to turn over to Julia again. Julia, tell me, what have you seen that's blocking from you or others to manifest what they're wanting to, and why? Well, what is that barrier? What is that?
Well, I know this is gonna sound really crazy, but for me, like I never understood the power of words. And so, like, whenever years ago, whenever I was trying to manifest, and to me, that's why I said it's like prayers, like you're asking God for something, right? And it's like you're asking a manifestation. It's like we're asking for something. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, what with prayers, like they never came true automatically that as much either. So, and it's the same with manifestations, but what will definitely hold you back and has held me back is the negativity, is the negative mindset. Like working with JR is a lot of help for me because I think it has a lot to do with the fact that JR, he's so like we I will acknowledge your feelings, but if you continue this is where you're gonna go. You're gonna go down this mindset. You're gonna do that. And like he's right. Like I was like, can you give me like 2 hours to process this though? And he's just like, well, in his mindset and in mine, I now too, I understand like we want to process things and we want to dwell on it and we want to talk about it and we want to tell people about it. The more you do that, the more you're putting out there the bad stuff that just happened when you could be manifesting what you want to bring into your life, what you want to bring into your soul and your spirit and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And so it's like, be kind to yourself. If something bad happens, yes, be kind to yourself, acknowledge your feelings, but do not dwell on it at all. Like, because every second counts. Every
Yes,
second
right. Yeah.
counts. And the universe hears it, whether you say, if you say, I can't win any money, I'm always broke, they are going to say, okay, Julia's always broke. She believes it.
Yeah.
She says it 5 times a week. So
Mm-hmm.
Julia is not going to get the money to pay her bills this month
Right. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not in that position, but that's how it will go, So
Oh yeah.
that's
Yes.
just how it
Yeah.
is. Like I had that same mindset, like, it is not possible to be able to do X, Y, or Z. And then I said, oh no, I'm doing this. And I was able to do X, Y, and Z in
Mm-hmm.
1 month.
Yeah.
And it was all business related stuff that I didn't think you'd be able to do in a year.
Well, that's the other thing is that when you really are manifesting and you're on the path you're supposed to, things happen usually very quickly, quicker
Yep.
than what it
And you're
normally
listening.
should. you know, uh,
Yeah.
mindset's the one of the biggest barriers that I see people facing. You know, and I don't think that we really think about even the smallest thoughts that we allow to manifest in our mind and how it goes against what we're trying to do. I don't think that having a thought from time to time of like, I don't know how this is going to work, but don't stay there. Say, no, this is going to work. It's easy for us to see the opposite side sometimes, and sometimes it's easy to see the opposite side and stay there, but we don't need to stay there. You know, if you have a negative thought, okay, acknowledge it. This is your feelings, okay. Now, what do we want to pull in? Because if we stay there with that negative thought, that's what we're going to get. And I've ran into client after client again, and you can pretty much tell right away when you're talking with a potential client whether they're really going to manifest what they want or not. You can just tell. And I'm putting it out there because of energy frequency. Me and Julia, we work with energy a lot. We can pick up your vibrations and we can tell you right off the bat, are you really going to do it or not? Okay. Now, I'm not going to say that it's impossible for those that are vibrating lower, that it's never going to happen. It's going to take probably more work for it to happen, but we can tell. We can definitely see the difference. And those that are in more of a negative mindset is one of the hardest ones to help break free of that. And what I see many times is that those that have that negative mindset, it's very hard for them to trust someone else that is telling them against what they're thinking. If that makes sense. You know, if they say, I don't have enough money to pay the bills this month, and let me put it, and I get that it's a real fear, okay? I'm not going to discount that, you know, that fear is not real in a way. I do like to throw out there about fear in my analogy of fear, and that's false energies appearing real. So it's just false ideals, false anxiety, false energy that's not really there. We just perceive that they're there. So I'm not saying that the feeling isn't valid. The thought process that brings that feeling, that's what's not valid. Okay? And I might have to say that again, okay? The feeling is real. Okay, what you're feeling is real. And I'm not saying that what you're feeling is not real. What I'm saying is the thought that is creating that emotion is not real. I have met many individuals that have stressed their minds to the max because they're always afraid of something happening. This is what's going to happen. I've met parents that is over stressing about possible events that could happen to their kids that never happen, and it puts so much stress and anxiety on them that they feel that and they live in a constant state of fear because of what they're thinking. That thought is what's creating that emotion. That emotion is what's going to create your reality around you. Okay? I pray that whatever it is that you're feeling and that fear never happens. Okay? However, again, like we were talking about, you will manifest what you're wanting, whether good or bad. Okay? So I pray that nothing drastic happens to you. I don't want nothing bad to happen to anyone. Okay? But what I'm saying though is if you stay in that state, it may happen, and I hope that it doesn't. Okay?
You know
Don't
what I
slow down.
realized? This kind of like, so it's kind of like, this is all kind of, I would say, like a little secret. I would say that not much is really disclosed about this. Like, because I was in the car listening to the radio because I was anxious and I was like, I am going to raise my vibration. So I'm going to sing some songs and belt them out and feel good and happy inside again. And so one of my songs came on the radio and I was so excited. And he's saying in this song, do not, dear God, don't take all these beautiful things away from me. And he's exclaiming it with all this passion and fever. And what the universe doesn't hear is don't or not. So he's screaming out to the universe to take
Yeah,
everything that he loves and wants and cherishes. And everybody's loving the song, screaming the same words out to the universe. So you gotta be careful even what songs you're putting into your head because the
uh,
you you really have to because like there was a song the other day that I listened to for like too much straight, but he's saying how he's a joke.
mm,
And like for me, it's like he's not saying he's a joke because he's a he's saying he's willing to be in this relationship so bad he'll be the joke.
gotcha. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, once I realized what he was actually saying and what I was putting out to the universe, I was like, I don't want to be anybody's joke.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in music
Yeah. Right.
that people are
Yeah.
singing.
Singing along,
So you're
declaring.
manifesting 24/7.
Mm-hmm. You're that broadcasting tower,
Mm-hmm.
each one of us. What are you
Sorry. I just
broadcasting?
thought that was insane. Like it hit me like music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Music's a big thing. Be very conscious of what you're listening
Well,
to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just thought like, if you hear a lot of drums or this, like the heavy sounding music, no, there's very like awesome lyrically music
Mhm.
that has the heavy sound. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And vice
Yeah.
versa. Like he's telling this the whole he's asking God to take everything away from him essentially.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just
hmm
and in a beautiful song.
Right. Yeah.
So like just even if it feels good, it might not be right. Let's put it that
hmm
way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. hmm That's true.
Hmm.
So, how do you get from a negative mindset and vibrating higher to manifest what you're wanting?
Well, for me, like a little thing that it's little but it's huge is to be to feel gratitude, like
Gratitude.
to
Yeah.
be gracious, like
hmm
you know, whether it's a cloudy, like I used to be a server, okay? So on a cloudy day, they would be like, oh, it's a bad day. Well, why is it a bad day? Because it's cloudy. Okay, so you're gonna be in a bad mood all day because the weather that you can't control, like,
Right. Yeah.
that
Uh huh.
makes no sense. And so everything, like, I'm sure his food didn't taste as good because it was a crappy day.
hmm And you're gonna get what you want.
So it's like, be gracious. Be like, well, it's a beautiful day. It's not as hot because the sun isn't beating down because the clouds are there to protect it.
Yeah. hmm
It's a wonderful day today. I'm getting to eat out with my wife. It's a great day today. Like, yeah, my tire broke down or my car broke down. I popped a tire. Well, you know what you could say? I God could have prevented a I could have been in a bigger accident.
Yeah. hmm
This tire could have blew on the bridge right over the river.
Right. Yeah. hmm
There's always something to be grateful for, no matter how shitty your life is. Facts.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. That is 100% true. And I think that once you start, if you really want to manifest, that's the perfect way to start that journey is sending that gratitude out. And it may not be easy at first, depending if you've been a negative person for a very long time. Uh, start out small. Like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? It's going to happen. You'll get
Yeah.
to that higher vibration. I will suggest and put out there to get around people of higher vibration. And it's not that you will take their energy, it will actually help you vibrate higher because you'll start seeing things differently. You'll see things the way that they are seeing it. Of course, you'll have your own way of seeing things too, but you're going to see it differently. You're going to be able to start like breaking down that barrier and that wall that's been there, and you're going to start vibrating higher and higher. When you can get it to that higher state, then you're going to manifest more, and we all went to manifest more. And I will say it's possible. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. And I'm gonna get a little probably emotional here for just a second. Let me get on my little soapbox here. I just want to say because a lot of people, individuals, clients, whatever you want to label yourself, is that they will always, especially those in a negative mindset, will always look at the other person. Well, they had a better upbringing. They had a better environment. They had a better conditioning than me. I'm not worth it. I can't do that. They are set up a lot better than I am. Yada yada yada. Whatever excuse you want to freaking send out to the universe, okay? You can do it. But I want to
More.
tell you that it doesn't matter. What?
Just more
What was
crap
that?
you're sending out to the universe.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. Yes, it is. Yes. It is only sending out more of what you are not wanting, but because you're sending it out, that is what you're getting. Okay. There's time after time after time, story after story about somebody that shouldn't have got something that they wanted and they did. Okay. Whatever, you can use whatever example you want to. I don't flipping care right now. It doesn't matter on that part. What it matters right now is you individually and what you're wanting to manifest and where you want to go. You can stay where you are. You can have your little pity party. You can look at what the circumstance looks like right now and stay there. Or you could say, no, I've had enough. If that person can do it, so can I, and start vibrating higher. And what I mean by that in many different ways is that, and why I'm more kind of passionate about this, is that for me individually, and I like to share the story in a very settings, various different settings is what I'm trying to say here. And that's because if you look at me, okay, I came from a family, a great family, and I love my family. You know, I'm not going to say that it was the worst conditioning ever. It wasn't. You know, pretty much what I needed, I got. You know, all my needs were met, all that good stuff. Okay. However, my mother was a high school dropout that never got her GED. My dad was a high school dropout that did get his GED, but that was it. They didn't go any further. They had four kids and had to supply for four kids. Okay, so if you want to talk about somebody, and yes, there's worst case scenarios. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to downplay other people, but in that statistics, where I am today shouldn't be even a reality. Both sides of the family are very high in drugs and alcohol and all that. If you look at statistics, I should have been one of those numbers. I should have been on the street. I should have been shooting up whatever it is. I should be getting drunk on every single penny that I brought in because that was the reality that I was grown up in. Now my parents didn't want that for us and tried to shield us as much as possible from that. But that was the reality that was around us all the time. Drugs, alcohol, watching another family member drastically see their health go from high vibe down to nothing because of what they were stuck on. But I knew that there was more that I could do. And there is one story that I'm going to share. And that was my dad was working at a plant of some sort, and I'm not going to reveal certain things for them. That's my dad and his life, but was able to make means and our needs be met. But they had this magazine that they would post every so often, and there was this competition, and the competition was basically just write about why America is so beautiful to you. Okay, and they were only picking like the top five people. And if you got selected out of all this, and this was a big organization, if you got in the pick of the top 10, they were going to publish whatever that is that you said within their magazine. And they're going to send you a pair of binoculars because the whole thing was this America, the beautiful, seeing America in like nature aspect, that kind of like thing. Okay. So I wrote to it, and to be quite honest, I completely forgot about it. I sent the letter, all that, and forgot about it. Okay, I was in high school. That's not usually a priority for a teenager. Okay, so I forgot all about it. Okay, and I remember coming home one day, and my dad worked sometimes different hours and stuff like that. So sometimes he was sleeping when I got home. But this day he was, sleeping. And when I got home, my mom told me that my dad wanted to talk to me and go ahead and wake him up, which my dad hates to be woken up, okay? Because he works different hours and stuff. He is a hard worker, and waking him up is not an option. So I did. I went in there and woke him up. And, you know, there he was in bed, started like, waking up, and he pulls this box that's like right next to the nightstand. And there it is in this box is the pair of binoculars. And I remember him telling me basically that whatever that I want to do in life, that I could accomplish it. Because to be honest, he didn't think that I was going to get this pair of binoculars. Not that he was trying to down me in any way, but there is thousands of people that was writing this, and my chances of actually getting that was very low. Okay, he wasn't trying to say that I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't, and I'm not trying to say that, but I remember him very specific looking at me. I'm just saying, whatever it is you want to accomplish, you can do it. You've done it right here. If that's not one of the most powerful stories, a manifestation right there, I don't know what is. And that has stuck with me. So everything that I have overcome, everything that I keep on pushing through and all that is because I know it's possible. I've seen it, I've watched it over and over again. I manifested just a couple of weeks ago a trip to Spain that I've been wanting to go to, and it happened this year. If I can do it with the upbringing that I've had and watch things manifest, so can you. You can do it. It might take some work, yes. It might take some rethinking of the mindset that you've been grown up with, the conditioning that you've been raised around. It might have to redo all of that, but it's going to be worth it if you just hold on and go after it.
And let the universe figure out how.
Yes.
Don't, don't, like, they'll figure it out. It'll get figured out. Like, you'll figure it out over time. It'll get figured out. Don't control it. It didn't get you to where you need to
Don't
be
manipulate it.
controlling everything. You wouldn't be wanting to manifest this if you could have done it in the first place. So give it to the universe.
Yeah. It will figure it out for you. Don't try to manipulate it. Don't try to force it to happen. It will happen.
I was always a dreamer, like always. Like it was like if I could dream of something, I'm gonna want to do it. Like I'm surprised I wasn't that kid that, because I've always wanted to fly. So I'm glad I wasn't the kid that went to the top of the house on the roof to try to fly, like thank God that wasn't me. But but no, like it's as far like as you said your manifestation, like yeah, like I always knew I was a really good cook, and every competition I entered, I just realized every competition I entered from high school on, like I always won. I always placed. I always won. Like it was not a doubt. There was never a doubt. Like my food
Mm-hmm.
rocks. Period. Like I know how to cook. I know how to bake, and it was always and what I listened to the other day, you know, when people say, you can only win the lottery once or the odds of the lottery or this and that, but there are people that have done things big multiple times. And statistically, that's not supposed to happen. So if that's not supposed to happen and it happens, then that means it's possible for it to happen to anybody, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
That's possible.
yeah. So you got to believe it. And if you can dream of it, I think it's possible. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Yeah, I agree on that. Very much so. But yes, I don't know if you would say I was a big dreamer per se when I was younger, but using my imagination a lot. all the time. Yes.
We had
Yeah.
to. We had to get through.
To survive, we had to use our imagination. Oh no, God forbid. Uh, well, that's a lot for just manifestation. Um, and yeah, sorry, I got a little emotional there. But I
I
really felt
enjoyed it.
compelled to share a little bit of a story of mine. Um, and I've seen countless clients going up and achieving what they're wanting to, achieving a whole new vibration. If they can do it, you can do it too. But it's going to take a step. And I can promise you that first step is going to be a big step. It's going to take a lot of energy to make that step. Typically, it gets a little easier after you take that step, but it depends on everything that you have to work through. So I'm not going to say it's going to get easier. Typically, it does, but making that first step is the hardest thing to do. And that goes part of like change and mindset and all that fear again that's popping up. If you want to take that first step and really start changing your life and manifesting it in a whole different aspect, and you want help, you want some guidance, please reach out to us. Okay, we really want to see you living the best life possible. We want to see you vibrating high. We want to see you pulling in things that's like you never dreamed of before and it's happening. And we want to just celebrate you along that journey too. I can't tell you how excited I get when a client's like, oh, I was able to do this and I never thought, or I got this and that wasn't even on my radar. And I'm like, yes, and just having a good time with them. We will definitely be your
It's
cheerleaders.
amazing. Like, yeah, it is. It's amazing when you put it out there, when it comes back, it's like, and it's fun, like, especially when you put it out there around other people, like, don't be shy about it, like, own it, and the more you put it out there around other people, the more you're believing in it, and the more you're putting it out there in the universe to make this happen for you as well. So,
Yeah.
and you will find out who's in your boat and who's not in your boat. And that's a hard pill to
Oh,
swallow on
yeah.
this journey.
And that's why
But
you need guidance. You need people in your corner.
yeah, yeah. That's why, you're gonna run towards and celebrate with the people that you told about what you're doing, and they're
Mhm.
gonna celebrate with you and they're not gonna be jealous.
Yeah. Hmm.
And your circle, like everything's going to change. Like once that little mindset changes of like you're worth it, you can do this negative to a positive,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous like how much is going to change. Like
Hmm.
everything, your wardrobe will change.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you may not have money for new clothes, but you will find a whole new wardrobe over the period of a year and a half. Like you will lose
Hmm.
weight or gain weight, whatever you needed to do, it will happen. Like it's mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
your life will
100%.
change.
Yep. And we're going to be there to watch it unfold. Okay. Well,
Yes.
if you're interested, you can always send an email. Um, I will list everything below, comments and all that. Mine is JR. Let's see. Make sure I get the right one here. I know you can send it as just chakrahealingcoach@gmail.com. Um, energy healing at chakrahealingcoaching.com. For Julia, it's Julia or Reiki with Julia Z at chakrahealingcoaching.com. We'll also include the link and all that so you can go straight to it. Please just reach out to us. The first consult of us just talking and getting to know you and celebrating what we can in that short period of time, no cost at all. Nothing, just seeing how we can help you and cheer you along this new journey that you're starting. Okay, would you like to say anything else, Julia, before we go?
Yeah, it's like we want to for me personally, and I know we want to change the world one step at a time, and we want to make it a better, happier, higher vibe place. And,
Mhm.
we don't want people to be anxious anymore. We don't want there to be as much sadness and stress. And so we truly want the best for every living soul out there. And if this resonated with you, don't hesitate. Like, it's a free call, and it's free because number one is like, you may not vibe with us, and we're not going to charge you if you don't get along, like if you don't
Yeah.
feel what we're putting out.
No.
And you're going to have to want to work with us, and we're going to have to want to work with you too. So that's why,
Mhm.
it's not crazy that it's free. It's free for a reason. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to add that.
Yeah. Well, not only that is that we have a network of other coaches too. So if it's not a good fit for us, we can always refer you to a different coach that we think would be best for you. And typically, most of them
Hmm.
also do a free consulting call. So you can talk to them and see if that's a good fit. If not, they can keep finding somebody that's going to vibe with you. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Again, this is Shocker Healing Coaching. Make sure that you subscribed and all that so you can get the next episode as soon as it's released too, so you can learn how to heal your body from the inside out, both body, mind, soul, and spirit, and live in the life of your dreams. We just want to see it happen. Okay? Well, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.